There have been multiple studies that link porn usage to the erosion of your prefrontal cortex. You know, that part of your brain that regulates your emotions, your actions, and more importantly, your impulse control and willpower.
Alright, so now that I'm in After Effects, we'll start off by creating the background. Take a new solid and click OK. Search for gradient ramp and I'll make it red like this. Now Iman is not using a lot of dark colors in his background. So what I'll do is swap the colors and move the black color a little bit further like that. Okay, perfect. Now duplicate the layer, search for grid. Set the border to 3 and then adjust its corner values to your liking. Now we need to mask the grid to get Iman Gadhzi's look. Pre-compose the grid layer. If you don't pre-compose it, the mask will not work. So I will pre-compose it and select the rectangle shape and I will mask the grid. Now increase the feather. This is some After Effects glitch or something. It just removes the lines when you make the border small, but it will be alright in the final render, so you don't have to worry about that. Press T and decrease the opacity and we've got Iman Gadhzi's background. Now it's time to add the floor. Select the rectangle and draw another shape layer. Make it red and remove the stroke. Make a shape layer 3D and title it like that. Now drag it down a bit and that looks good already. Probably a little more. Now I'll pre-compose it. Apply the noise effect and set the amount of noise to 14%, just to make sure it creates the illusion that it is a plain background. Set the noise amount to probably 10. So now that we're done with the background, it's time to create and animate the character. I'm not going to use the same character as Iman, so you need to use your own head, bro. So I have this character that I will animate instead of Iman's. Now please don't kill me on this. I completely understand that it's far better and time saving to download the EPS file and ungroup them in Illustrator and then import them into After Effects. Now what I like to do is take the character from Google and draw on it in After Effects. I don't know why, but I like doing this. So I will draw this character and I'll get back to you once I'm done. Okay, so after years of hard work, I'm finally done with drawing the character. By the way, it's not worth it, to be very honest with you guys. Learn Illustrator 1 hour every day and you will be good with it. Anyway, it's time to animate the character. Alright, so first I will animate the hand. Go to puppet tool and now you need to create 3 points on all the joints. That's it. Don't create any extra points, okay? Let's move the playhead a little forward and I will play with the pinpoint for the animation. Now select all the keyframes and press F9. Go to the graph editor and move the handles closer to each other. Okay, this looks good. Now I will animate the legs. Again, select the puppet tool and create 3 points on the joints. Now I will move the playhead to the same distance as the arm so that we can get something really cool. Now I will play with the pinpoints. You can adjust the movement according to your like. Now select the keyframes and press F9. Go to the graph editor and move the handles closer to each other. Let's see what we have, and this looks really good. And now we need to animate the second leg. Again, select the puppet tool and create 3 pins on the joints. To use the puppet tool correctly on a character, you need to create points only on the joints. So we have a joint here. You don't want to go crazy with the puppet tool. You can only make small and subtle movements to bring your animation to life. Now again, I will move the playhead to the same distance as others. I will play with the movement of the leg. Select the keyframe, press F9, go to the graph editor and bring the handles closer to each other. And this looks so amazing so far. Now I'm done with this. I will animate the hand. Again, create 3 points on the joints, and I don't think I need to explain this one. Alright, we are finally done with the character animation too, and this looks so good. Now I will just loop out the character animation. Make sure to add random movements. Don't just copy and paste to save your time. Now that I'm done with the movement, it's time to animate the elements. First, I will make this shape layer that says pornography usage or something. Make a rectangle shape layer and search for fastbox blur. Apply it to the shape layer. Then make it an adjustment layer by clicking on this little icon. Set the iteration to 12 and radius to 25. Now duplicate this and turn this off and reduce the opacity. Turn off the fill and set the stroke to 5 probably. Now select the second layer and turn off the fastbox blur and reduce the opacity. Now highlight the text to customize it. Study is bold and pornography is thin and small. So I will reduce the size of pornography and make usage thinner. Now I will adjust the text. Now select all of these and pre-compose them. Make it 3D and then tilt it. There you go. Just go to flaticon.com and download a brain PNG. I've got mine downloaded. I will import it into the composition and adjust its position. By the way, I forgot to animate the title card. Press P on your keyboard and move the playhead a little bit. Put a keyframe, go back to the first frame and move the title card out of the scene. Press F9 and move the handles closer to each other. Okay, perfect. Now it's time to animate the entire scene. If you watch Iman's version, when he zooms in, the main background stays the same. The ground scales up, so we will do the same. I will change the color of the ground layer to yellow so that I can recognize it. Now take a null object and parent all these layers with the null object including the ground layer. Press P on your keyboard and put a keyframe on position. Now drag it down a bit. Also press Shift plus S, put a keyframe and set the scale to 110. We also need to animate the title card. So I will parent it with the null object. Press F9, go to the graph editor and move the handles closer to each other. Okay, perfect. We need to adjust the position and scale of the title card. Okay, it looks great. Now we need to scale the brain down a little bit. I will type my text, select the upper text and make it thinner. I will adjust its size and position. Now you might be thinking that Iman does some crazy animation with this text, but that's not the case. I'm sorry to break it to you, I really am, but most of the time he's just using some presets. So to do that, go to Effects and Presets, go to Text, Blur, Blur in and Fade in. Drag it onto the text layer and there you go. Okay, here comes the last part. Now we need to move the title card out of the scene. Put a keyframe on the position, move a few frames forward and move the title card out of the scene. Press F9 and go to the graph editor and move the handles closer to each other. Now parent the null 1 to null 2. Okay, it looks great. Now put a keyframe on scale and position in null 1. Move the playhead where the title card goes off the screen and put another keyframe. Now I will parent the ground shape layer to the null object 1 and move it down a little bit so that we have space for the other things. Select the keyframe and press F9, go to the graph editor and move the handles closer to each other. Okay, this looks great so far. I will draw a shape layer and adjust its roundness. I will draw a circle for the tick. Okay, we're good to go. Now I will draw the check mark. Turn on the fill for the circle and make it white. Set the color of the check mark as the background's color. Now I will adjust its position, center align the anchor point. I will write my text. Now I will pre-compose it and name it points. This is a time-saving hack for you guys that I'll let you know later. Time for the effect. Go to the effects and presets, search for Gaussian blur, apply it to the layer. Put a keyframe, press P, put a keyframe, press T, and put a keyframe. Move few frames forward and put a keyframe. Go back to the first keyframes, blur the text, turn off repeat edge pixels. Reduce the opacity and bring down the position a little bit. Press F9 to go to the graph editor and bring the handles closer to each other. Now we need to animate the inner text as well. Apply the same effect from text, blur, then blur in and fade in. Alright, it looks so good. Now go to the project, duplicate the composition inside the project and drag it into the composition. I will adjust the position and alignment. I will copy and paste the keyframes and I will adjust their values accordingly. Now this is the time saving hack for you guys. Go to the point 2 and 3, just change the text and at the end we will make an adjustment layer. And add posterize time, set the frame rate to 18. Like this is the signature effect of Iman Gadhzi that he uses in all of his animations and you can get it for free. I mean, can you subscribe? Go to the effects and presets, search for turbulent displays, apply it to the adjustment layer and set the amount to 1.5. Now duplicate the adjustment layer and set the amount to 30. Set the size to 2 and that's it for the video. Here's how the final version looks like.
There have been multiple studies that link porn usage to the erosion of your prefrontal cortex. You know, that part of your brain that regulates your emotions, your actions, and more importantly,
please tell me in the comments which video I should break down next and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.